smart enough to remove it yet. It's still in the gym. Oh, that's mine. I did that because I wanted to remind them. The military does a really good job of reminding people these are our values. So every time I talk to a new recruit, I'll tell them, I said, you know what our core values are. And I say, if you use these core values as a lens in all of your decision-making process, you will go far. You will be fine. And here's the thing, you'll serve your community, and you'll do it pretty well. So let me talk about technology one more time. Technology is the name of the game. We now have not just fingerprints, we have DNA. Not just DNA, we have what we call touch DNA. We have nibers and fibers, and we have if you shoot a gun, then we can check the barrel and the rifling on the round that we expend and compare that to another gun. Yeah, we have polygraphs, we have all this other kind of stuff, but this technology now, video technology is where it's at. We don't have a helicopter. Helicopter's too expensive, not a lot about flying, so we don't need a helicopter.
You got a Corvette.
I have a Corvette. I stand corrected, our Corvette will fly. But my favorite vehicle, by the way, is a 57 Chevy Bel Air that we got. It cost us 0 tax dollars. Corvette cost us 0 tax dollars. Why? Because of the foundation. Thank you, Whitney Cross Lucas. Thank you very much. So, but we do have technology coming, and it's going to be the videos. The videos are already out. The video cameras, surveillance cameras are already out. They're in every store, every convenience store. They're on every roadway. What we wanted to do is have a way where we can incorporate all of these video feeds into one location. And then we're going to have analysts that we're going to be watching that and say, okay, we're looking for a white truck, or it'll read the tags and tell you if it's stolen. It'll read the tags and say if it's an individual that is on our alert list, drug dealers, someone that's wandered from another state. We should have this operational probably in November. Right. So in November, we're going to have a big building. I spend a lot of our local option sales tax dollars, the money that you pay, and we get a portion of that. And we spent that money on technology. Now we're behind the game. I'm thinking, wow, that's great. It is great. But we're behind the game. Dade County already has one. Okaloosa County already has one. Baldwin County has one. Leon County has one. Everyone has one but us. And so I thought, you know what? We're going to be late, but we're going to be the best. So our unit's going to be the best. And that's what we're working on right now. That's the technology portion of where we are. So how's the work going? Is the work more difficult than what it was before? I can tell you this week, we've had a big week. Just this past week, we had 2 SWAT call-outs for barricaded suspects. One just this morning. I can read what we call the news report to you. One just this morning where we had to call a SWAT team in because someone decides they're going to have a gun and they're going to barricade themselves in their home. And we can't let them do that. So we don't let them do that. And those 2 people are in jail now. So 2 barricaded suspects, and we did 3 search warrants. 3 search warrants where a SWAT team had to come and help us because the individuals that are selling drugs also have guns. They always do. I'll tell you, they always do. So those are 3 SWAT search warrants, 2 barricaded suspects. But here's what we also did. I promoted 4 sergeants. 4. 3 young men and 1 young lady. And when I say young compared to me, they're 30 or so. They're a little bit senior. But I will tell you that during my conversation with them, it always renews my faith in humanity, right? Because as I'm talking to them and I say, hey, what do you want out of a career? And what I did was, I love this place. Almost all of them say, I love this place. I love working for my community. I love working for the Escambia County Sheriff's Office. I want to do all of it. Because we can do everything. You can do a narcotics officer, you can be a traffic officer, ride a motorcycle, ride a boat, you can do all this sort of thing. Maybe not the Corvette, because only a few people get to ride a Corvette. However,
that would be my job.
You're small enough to do it. It's harder for me to get out of the Corvette. But what I got from them is that they want to make this a career, and that's what we need. Because I'm gonna be retired eventually, and I'm gonna sit back and we're gonna need men and women that want to do this job. And so we started our own training academy. I don't know, how much time do I even have?
Until you get done.
Until I get done. My kind of picture right there. No, I won't be long. I'm excited about where we are at the Sheriff's Office. I'm excited about where we are as a community. So I promoted the 4 just this week. So we had 2 barricaded suspects, 3 search warrants, 4 promotions, and yesterday had with them something we call Dream Big. I'm not sure if anyone was here could do it, but we had our 3rd session of Dream Big. And we had 80 kids that wanted to be a police officer. They call them cops still, but a police officer. And they all showed up, and we gave them a t-shirt, and we gave them a junior badge, and we run them through a 5 courses, like a mini academy, right? And they went to work on canine operations, they went to work on cruiser cars, they turn lights on, the sirens on. For some reason the kids love the sirens, and it's just not good for our hearing. But they have to run the sirens. Whether they're in the car or not, you can hear sirens because they're making the same stuff. So we have car operations, we have agility course, we have crime scene, and then we have my boarding section, which is courtesy, integrity, professionalism, right? We have to do that. We also take pictures at that time, so it's not all my fault. However, it gave me a chance to say, hey, what do you want to be when you grow up? Now, this is a baby field, I understand. They're all there, I'm in uniform, we talk about how great the sheriff's office is. You'd think that all of them would say, I want to be a deputy, I want to be a cop. No, about half of them did. Half of them did. The other half wanted to be a social media influencer. One wanted to be a YouTuber, an engineer, one a candy eater. And I told them we have donuts, so that works out good. But my point is, there's a long road from 5-year-olds, 6, 7, 8-year-olds to swearing them in as deputies. But this is what we hope to do. We hope to incorporate the Escambia County Sheriff's Office into our county. So this is just a little bit an introduction to mentorship. Because everyone says, oh, Chip Simmons, what are you doing about all the gun violence? Well, SWAT team, we got narcotics teams, we season all this stuff, we got arrest after arrest after arrest. But we're also mentoring. We're also doing our part. One of those prongs is that we're doing our part. So this is the 5 to 11-year-olds, because we already have a Blazer Academy. Now this is probably the greatest thing we've done. The Blazer Academy takes young men and women ages 13, 14, and 15. Why 13, 14, and 15? Because I used to coach ball, and I know that 9, 10, 11-year-olds don't listen quite as well as 13, 14, 15-year-olds. And 13, 14, and 15-year-olds are on that cliff there. You know what I'm talking about? They can go this way, or they can go this way. And you've got to reach them. You've got to reach those 13, 14, 15-year-olds. So we have a Blazer Academy. We have 6 weeks, 1 day a week, a couple hours at a time. We get to know them. They get to know each other. We've talked to them about goals. We've talked to them about how to be a gentleman. We've talked to them about how to be a young lady. We've talked to them about potentially they're going to have to get a job, you would think, right? We talked to them about what their place is in society. We talked to them about what their place is in their own family. I asked them who their heroes are. Who are your heroes on the first day? And almost no one has a hero. If it is, it's some social media influencer for some reason. And I don't even know what social media influencers are. I don't watch that channel. But I will tell you, these are the people that are going to run this country here in a couple of years. And we have got to reach them. So we have been able to do, and this is the most rewarding thing that we ever get. We give them a blazer, we give them a shirt, we give them a tie, we give them a pair of pants. We build up on that. And then when we go to a fine restaurant, fine for me, but a downtown restaurant. And then, if you heard what I heard, they're walking out there, one of the kids looks at the other and says, we look like $1 million. Because they've never had that before. The reason we do this is because, some of you heard this, but I'll tell you, is because I used to coach football, and I would take all these kids with me in a minivan. Not proud of it, but we had one. I have 2 kids, and we needed it. And so we're driving a minivan. I look over, and one of the kids got his head down in his lap, practically crying. I said, what's wrong with Johnny? Other kids, it's okay, coach. He's never been over a bridge before. Never been over a bridge before. These kids don't have the same opportunities that others have. So we're doing our part. We have a Blazer Academy, the reigning state program of the year for the entire state of Florida. Then we advanced that to the female Blazer Academy. Now, I don't know what it takes to raise a teenage daughter. I have 2 teenage boys. I know it's hard. I can tell you that. I can tell you speak a different language. I can tell you that. And so I get there.
Whitney came in, right?
That's where what?
Whitney came in.
Whitney teaches at the female Blazer Academy. She absolutely does. It's mostly women. I do teach a little bit about goal setting and different things, but we have male and a female Blazer Academy now. You're probably thinking, why are you spending so much time on these things? Let's talk about the SWAT team. Because if we can do things right, we won't need a SWAT team. If we can get these young men, these young women in the pews, if we can get them at the dinner table, if we can get them to have a conversation with us, we can bestow our experience on them. And we can become that country that we used to be. We can become those people that we used to be. The people that weren't afraid to say, in God we trust. The people that weren't afraid to stand up and pray, and to kneel and pray. That had an American flag, that said the national anthem, the Pledge of Allegiance before you do every sport or every event. That's what we need. We need all of this. I got off on a little bit of a tangent. I understand. I do it every time. I refuse to apologize for being a patriot. I love this country. I love this community. I love the people that work with me. And that's what it is. We have the greatest people that I can even think. I have an all-star team at the Sheriff's Office. You should be so proud if you knew what I know. Because what you read in the newspaper is about some horrible event. You read it, you look at how it's terrible, and you read, turn to page 2. The deputies, the crime scene analysts, the dispatchers, they live that for a couple hours. They have to see that. They have to talk to somebody. They have to knock on the door and tell someone the worst news they've ever heard in their life. That you just lost a child. You just lost a husband, a son, a daughter, an uncle. And it's hard to get away from it. That's why we started our mental health unit. I'll end with this. I think it's important. I come from old school. We didn't have tasers. We didn't have any of it. We didn't have pepper spray. We didn't have anything. They gave me a billy club when I started in 1984. They did. And we worked it well. But I will tell you that nowadays things are different. We had a terrorist attack at Episcopal NAS. And I was there. It was a horrific scene. Horrific scene. Blood, glass, bodies, everything as bad as you can imagine. You may have heard about it. You may have read about it. It may have been in the news for a week or two. We dealt with that for months. We had 2 deputies who were shot. 2 deputies that were off duty. 2 deputies that needed hardship funds from the foundation. 2 deputies that they were lucky to be alive. Terrorist was taken out with over 300 rounds of ammo still on him. He had bad intentions. We stopped those bad intentions. But these are things that people have to deal with mentally. And so we started this on a two of its kind in the state of Florida, a mental health approach. And we have an internal and external element. I'll just briefly tell you, internally we counsel our own. Now they can go somewhere else, but we also have an opportunity to counsel internally because we have some expertise internally. Externally is a federal grant that allows us to have a co-responder unit. A mental health professional and a deputy go right together. We're going to start that probably in January. One of only 2 in the state of Florida. So we're doing a lot because we care about people. And that's all I have to say here, except to say, if you think that coming up to us at a restaurant, like I said before, or if someone buys lunch, I'm not asking to buy lunch, thank you, but if someone buys lunch, you think, oh, they don't really care. I would be walking down the hallway, and someone says, hey, I was at this restaurant, that restaurant, and someone buy us lunch. And my response is because they care about you, because they appreciate you. And I know that the fact that you have invited me here today, and you've been so hospitable, that you also care about first responders. You care about the Sheriff's Office. And I just want to say thank you very much.
Let's conclude our worship this morning as we sing hymn number 672, God Be With You.
Still with the assurance that wherever we go, God walks beside us. And when he deems it necessary for us to come together again, let us come giving honor, praise, and glory for all that he does in our life. For it's in his name we pray. Amen.
Amen. We're done, guys. Hi, happy Sunday.
Ikaw ang liwanag sa madilim na daan. Ikaw ang siyang tanlaw sa aking kinabukasan. Ikaw ang bumabay sa aming pag-aaral. Dahil hirap sa buhay, ikaw ay nakaalala. Jesus Christ, love and care ministry. Kahit di ka nakikita, I always know your love for me. Handang tumulong sa mga nangangailangan. Sa iyong gabay kami ay may natutunan. Napakabuti ng inyong mga puso. Sa mga tulong nyo meron niyong balik sa dulo. Laki ng aming pasasalamat. Laging dasalang malayo sa kahirapan. Jesus Christ, love and care ministry. Napakabuti ng iyong puso sa pagtulong di nahuli. Sana hindi magbago ang iyong pagkatao. Tuloy-tuloy mo lang dahil lahat kami saludo. Jesus Christ, love and care ministry. Napakabuti ng iyong puso sa pagtulong di nahuli. Sana hindi magbago ang iyong pagkatao. Tuloy-tuloy mo lang dahil lahat kami saludo.
Sa bawat pagising mo pagtulog, sa katauhan namin ikaw ang humubog. Mga pangaral at salita mo sa amin ay tumatak. Tinuring mo kami sa mundo na isang anak. Di mo pinabayaan sa oras ng kahirapan. Binusog tuwing may kagutuman na nararanasan. Ikaw ang tanging ina naming kanlungan. Diyos na ang bahalang magbalik sa iyong kabaitan. Mga pangaral mo ang nagsilbi sa aming aral. Nagbigay lapis at papel, bumubuhit na parang anghel. Nagpatayo ng simbahan kung saan pwede naming masilungan. Maging takbuhan tuwing binabalot ng kadiliman. Salita ng Panginoon tunay namin.
Jesus Christ, love and care ministry. Napakabuti ng iyong puso sa pagtulong di nahuli. Sana hindi magbago ang iyong pagkatao. Tuloy-tuloy mo lang dahil lahat kami saludo. Jesus Christ, love and care ministry. Napakabuti ng iyong puso sa pagtulong di nahuli. Sana hindi magbago ang iyong pagkatao. Tuloy-tuloy mo lang dahil lahat kami saludo. Jesus Christ, love and care ministry. Napakabuti ng iyong puso sa pagtulong di nahuli. Sana hindi magbago ang iyong pagkatao. Tuloy-tuloy mo lang dahil lahat kami saludo. Jesus Christ, love and care ministry. Napakabuti ng iyong puso sa pagtulong di nahuli. Sana hindi magbago ang iyong pagkatao. Tuloy-tuloy mo lang dahil lahat kami saludo.